Crunchy.
Hello and welcome to Gypsy Kiss. I'm Shelley Carney, the magical treasure princess, life coach to the rich and famous, and Snackmeister.
And I'm Toby Younis, Administrative Assistant of the Magical Treasure Princess and her Chief of Security. The reason she's eating is because we just finished our 6 o'clock show a few minutes before we started this one, and she didn't have time to get dinner, so she's snacking on some apples. We'll see if we can get that done before the end of the night. We did have a great Sales Leaders Institute because we got to interview my daughter, Sean Wells, to talk about how artists are making it through this period. And it was a really interesting conversation. It went a little bit longer than we intended it to, but it was too much fun to give up. We'll tell you more about that as soon as we get started with the show. All right? Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good time. There we go. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll try and make this as entertaining a night as we possibly can. So you're going to need to get ready with your hello to the room chat because we only have one email, and it is a musical rendition for that LR sent us. So we'll be testing that out in just a minute. All right. So after that, we'll go to hi to the chat room. Meantime, I'm going to refresh my drink because I really didn't get a chance to do that while we were between shows. So let's start.
Housekeeping, you want towels?
You know you want towels. I mean, you are here in town. You want towels.
Jamal wants towels.
Jamal wants towels, and it's Friday. Make sure that before you leave tonight, you like our video. YouTube likes it when you like our video. The MTP loves it. Seriously, loves it when you like our videos. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, the entirety of your social networks so that we can
grow the channel.
And finally, if you are not already a subscriber, this would be a great time to press down that subscribe button.
Oh, God.
And then when you see the notifications bell, ring it. What happened to the notifications bell?
What do you mean?
Oh, interesting. It's too loud for your microphone. It knocks out your microphone. Ring that notifications bell, and that way, whenever we start a live stream, you'll be immediately informed and
in the know.
Because there's nothing better in life than being in the know. These are difficult times, brothers and sisters. Difficult times.
Need to be in the know.
There's a great line towards the end of No Country for Old Men, where Tommy Lee Jones, my look-alike guy, is talking with an old sheriff friend of his, and he's old and he's sitting in his old house. And he says something like, he says the equivalent of, oh, no, it's the other sheriff. Never mind. I'll come back to that story. So I do want to say that we had a great interview with my daughter, Sean. It's processing right now, so you can't get to it. But I'm going to strongly recommend, you hear me talk about her a lot. You don't know her as well as you do my son, Jason. But Sean is just a lovely personality. I think she's a lot like me in some respects, but she's got that art thing, and she's so talented that honestly, I don't think she's reached the peak of her artistic talent, and she's constantly in motion, and that's what I love about her. But I'm going to strongly suggest you go look at that interview, because if you want to see what it's like for an artist, but a very positive person to work through this period, you want to hear her stories. She tells wonderful stories, and that's kind of how we went over, because all you have to do is ask her one little tiny question, and I don't know where she gets that from. And she can go on for hours. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know anybody in your family who's not like that.
Anyway, when you get a chance, when that thing's processed, I'll post it here. Go take a look at it so you can learn a little bit more about Sean. Now, I do want to point out, let me go to screenshot here. She did, and let me copy that link. So this is a link to her Etsy store, and for just especially for you, what the fuck did my, there we go. Just especially for you, so I'm going to put that Etsy store. I've also included in the description box below. And if you want to buy there, she's given us a discount. So the discount coupon is SLI2020. And I posted that as well. So any of our products, 20% discount. Did I manage to do that? So it's all uppercase, SLI 2020. So if you want to go and buy any of our products, go to our website, including the Saint Corona. Go to her website on Etsy, her store on Etsy. Use that coupon code, and you'll get a 20% discount on anything you buy from her store. And I think it's going to be there through next week, so you can use it then, please. Oh, and you didn't see any of that. Hang on. Dang nabbit. Okay.
I just thought you were putting links in the description.
Oh, no. Well, I was putting links. So that's her Etsy store. And if you scroll down, you can see all the products. And right at the top there is the Saint Corona if you want a Saint Corona. She's also done the candle if you're a candle person. So she has all the different things, and she has not only her retablo work, and she talked about that in today's interview. She also has her Day of the Dead work, and what makes her Day of the Dead work so cute for me is that some of these Day of the Dead images are actually photographs that she took of her sisters, and then incorporated. That's another one, and incorporated them into her Muerto look. So the bicycles, I have all 4 of the bicycles in my guest bedroom. They're for the Day of the Tread. She does the Day of the Tread poster every year. So take a look at that. And like I said, if you want to buy anything through the next week, it's a 20% discount. All right? So let me go back to full screen. I forgot to start my analytics. Okay, there we go. Analytics are good. Analytics are good. All right, so thanks for joining us today. And our friend LR, who sent us a piece of music last week, I'm going to close this, and I've got to open that, said, he wrote me an email. I haven't heard this yet, but he said that he sent us another video, music video, and he said this one was a little bit more up-tempo. So let's play that one now, all right? And then we'll go to, you can go to say hi to the room because I don't have any other emails. Let me open this up. And not start it. Okay. So this is from the person you guys know in the room as LR, all right? Let me go back to screenshots and right there. All right, we ready? 3, 2, 1, and...
As I have gone alone there and with my treasures full, I can keep my secret where and in a riches new and old, leaving it where warm waters hold and taking its candies down. Not far, but too far to walk, but in below the home of brown. From there it's no place for the meat to be as ever drawing nigh. There'll be no paddle up your creek, just headloads of water high. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down the quest to cease. But Terry Scat with marvel gaze, just take your chest and go in peace. So why is it that I must go and leave my throat for all to see? The answers I already know, I've done it tired, now I'm weak. So listen all and hear me good, your effort will be worth the toll. If you are brave and in the wood and give you time, so to the goal.
Very nice. I do like that upbeat sound of his. LR, that was very nice. It sounded like a 12 string guitar to me. So I think the last time he played it with a 6 string. So it must be varied in the kinds of music he plays. Very talented. So LR, thank you for that. I truly appreciate it. And I hope you guys appreciate it as well. Covert Ones in the room says hello, stop by to say hi. And Shelley, you can go ahead. Did you finish eating? I'm sorry, sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
Did you finish eating?
For the moment.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and say hi to the room.
You can play the video.
Pardon me? I am going to. That's where I was looking for right now, where we say. By the way, anyone who is as interested as LR to have sent us a video, you're welcome to send us one of your own videos, music. It doesn't have to be related to the chase, but we'd be happy to play it. And I guess I should announce, by the way, we are not going to do movie night tomorrow night. We are going to do the Church of the Search. So I will see you here at 7 o'clock in the evening. I will see you here at 7 o'clock in the evening for Church of the Search. We'll be playing some, I don't know, maybe some jazz tomorrow. Sounds like smooth jazz. We'll do some smooth jazz. And jazzy, kind of jazzy jazz.
Okay. So we start with their hellos.
Go ahead.
Hello to
I'm going to look for
our
questions while you're doing
friends in the chat room, including Davio, Debbie Teal, Kristen Kenzie, Zozo Rocks, Joel Lewicki's here. We have Bobbert, T.I. Mattis, LR is here. Hey, LR. Just played your song. P-Chick7 from Mississippi.
Awkward scrapbook, but...
Oh, whoa. Hold on. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sturmworm. Tony Russi. What's good today? Hal Gibson. Hello. Mama Bright from Oklahoma. BB Bandit. Haven't seen you in a while, BB. Steve from Oregon. Andre's here. BJ Chambly. Craig O'Hare. Our winner from the other night, right?
Yeah. Goes out, gets packaged tomorrow, goes out on Monday.
All right. Swami. Jose Guichard from California. Lamron. Fennist 4. It's a new one. Toby and Snackmeister, did you get to your Rio Honda solve because of Horseman punching out?
Oh, interesting. The answer to that question is no, we did not. We did not get there because of that.
Okay.
It's Rio Hondo.
Yes. Let's see. Britt Chaser's here.
Wow.
Glad you're staying well.
Up late. Thank you. We're going out of our way to make sure that we don't come in contact. Although I do have to admit that Shelley and Kevin came over today to help me with my sprinkler system because one of the solenoids apparently failed, and Kevin is a master of fixing stuff. So,
which is why he has to come back tomorrow.
Why he has to come back tomorrow.
Do it right. Ronnie Lee, 93 Butterscotch. Angelica Anthea.
Oh.
May you both be safe. God be with you.
Thank you. Angelica Anthea.
Martin Kruger, more cowbell.
You can never have enough cowbell, brothers and sisters. Never have enough cowbell.
Even cowbells the size of butt drums.
Jan Schutz says SLI 2020 is a clue and it fits my solve.
Aha.
Yeah. SLI stands for Sales Leaders Institute, which is the new company that Shelley and I have recently formed.
Joel Lewicki says, Toby looks like a Pueblo Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, all that sunshine out here. By the way, I do remind everybody that we did give this Santa Corona, Saint Corona. It's actually easy to say as Saint Corona. This is really different because I'm used to saying Santa Teresa and all these. But Saint Corona, we did give one of these away to Craig O'Hare, one of our Irish friends. And we'll be giving away these over the next several weeks on Wednesdays. So
Why'd you do that?
what I did what?
Put the sticker right over the face
sorry.
and then you show it again.
Sorry. I'll put it over here. So this is so I don't forget because I'm an old man. So make sure you always comment on our Wednesday videos because that's where we draw from. And there's nothing wrong with going back there right now to last Wednesday's video and making a comment to make sure you're in the drawing. You don't have to make more than one because commentpicker.com eliminates the duplicates.
We have Michael Wimmer,
Yeah.
Debbie Teal, Jeff Anschutz.
Anschutz. No L in there.
Anyone else think it looks blurry? Could be blurry?
No, we're at 1080p on our side and pumping out at 5,000 KB at 5,200 kbs. So if it's
Okay.
blurry, it's on your side.
Andre says, great news today. Our dear friend Susie Fennhaven is back. Hopefully she pops in to say hi.
Oh, great. Wow. That is good news. If you, whoever was concerned about their quality, go down to the bottom of the screen and go to the gear where it says settings. Click on that and set your quality as high as you can get it on your side because we're putting it out as high as we can get it on our side.
We have Jen Smith.
Wait,
Copper Dan is here.
Could we go back to, so I only caught part, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm looking for something and then I'll tell you when I've got it.
Copper Dan is here.
Hey, Copper Dan.
Happy Good Friday. That's right. It's Good Friday.
It is Good Friday for those of you
Easter
that
on
are
Sunday.
Catholics.
That's why my dinner is all vegan.
Vegan?
It's popcorn and apples and strawberries and chocolate.
Popcorn and apples. Good mix.
Let's see, Zilza Rocks is here. Or we are modless. The Sassy's here.
Well, all we need is the
We're
sassy.
not modless.
Yeah. We are not modelless without the sassy. With the sassy. So,
Tom K. Hi, room. Hi, Tom K. Covert One. Stop by to say hi. B Cross. B Cross is here. Hey, we just got out cha-ching.
we got two of them.
Oh, yeah.
One from our friend Mel Rustad. And Mel, I did get the message regarding Baby Palmer's gift. I responded, please thank Sky for the selection. And we look forward to receiving it. I will mount it properly because it's a beautiful stone. He sent Baby Palmer a pear-shaped amethyst because that's her birthstone.
Wow.
Not an amethyst, I'm sorry. I forgot the name of the stone. Pear-shaped topaz. No. I'm going to have to look it up now. But thank Sky picked it. Sky, his granddaughter, picked it.
I should know the
Wait,
first stone from March.
Aquamarine.
Kevin's a March and Jared's a March.
Aquamarine. That's what they picked for. But it's a beautiful pear-shaped stone. And I told him I'd get a mounting and send it off to her as soon as they get it. He said they'd send it as soon as they felt comfortable going to the post office. And then we have another ka-ching from LR, 12 string. Thanks for the airtime. God bless you all.
That's a tenor.
So it did sound like 12 string to me.
We got to play the 10.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to do that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and...
And now our song is hey.
That's pretty good.
Well, considering I have some distance between you and me.
Yeah,
and
before
I'm
you
not
can
sure.
see it. So the reason I was asking for somebody, I thought I saw somebody talking about somebody passing in their lives.
Oh, T.I. Mattis lost her dog
Oh, okay. Whew.
on Wednesday.
Well, no, not a few, but I thought they were referring to a loss due to coronavirus, but
no, it was her Yorkie.
Okay.
Who's apparently old age.
oh, That's the hard part about dogs. No matter how old you are, they're going to die before you do, huh?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's probably kinder to the dog that goes that way, because when they lose their owner, they get very lost.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we have Tony Russi, Paul Matthews, Terry McKernan, MJ Inzer, Martin Kruger, Larry Smith. Who else? Sherry from PA. I miss you guys being together in the same space. Not as much as we do.
Not as much as we do. It is just makes us sad not to be in the same space. It was even worse today because, as I mentioned, Kevin and Shelley came over so Kevin could, I was going to say, help me with my irrigation problems, but he did it. It's more like I stood and watched while he fixed it. And then Shelley and I had to sit there 6 feet away from each other without so much as shaking hands.
Oh, we got to talk about business.
But we did get to talk about business,
And I got
which
the
was
book.
good. And you got the book. So we make some headway. It was still good. But yeah, we miss it as much as you guys do. I want to go back. Angelica, she doesn't. So guys, if you want to reach out to us while Shelley's catching up here, make sure that you precede your comment in the chat room if you want us to see it with an @ sign and then a Gypsy's Kiss, and that highlights it for us so it doesn't get by without us seeing it. If you're also welcome to send your text messages right now to 202-815-1171, and later on we'll open up that phone line so you can call in and we can talk about it together. Okay? Back to you,
If you
Shelley.
do want to email, we probably won't say it tonight, but Toby will be back tomorrow night.
Right.
Steve Wayne is here. David Lindbergh, go Air Force. Corey J is here. Let's see. John Miller is here. Hey. DEA3, hi. And Chris L is back. Roy Call, Okotarm in the room.
So somebody just corrected me. Good Friday is for all Christians, not just Catholics. I just remember having to, I wonder if all Christians have to go to church from noon to 3 o'clock. I know Good Friday is a Christian celebration, but
It
do
kind
all...
of depends on what church you go to, I think.
I thought Catholics
I
were the
don't
only-
think I ever did when I was growing up. I wasn't a Catholic at that
Yeah,
time.
you were... no, Catholics have to go to church. That's why...
Yeah. I think I have only actually ever been once on a Good Friday, and that was enough. Maybe twice. Anyway,
We had to go every year. Every year.
Joey Perro's here. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else is... Mel Rustad, 500 pieces. You seeing any questions or?
Corey J was testing out a Gypsy's Kiss highlighted feature. My corona, LR says my corona counter shows several states with no new cases. There are some states that, because they started early, are falling off the curve. I don't believe that we are amongst them. But Dr. Tony Fauci of the CDC was with Brian Williams this afternoon, and he said we might be able to hold the deaths to around 60,000. That's just amazing to me because that's 2,000 more than the number of American service people that were killed in Vietnam. So it's still a big number any way you look at it. That's 60. That's not just 60,000 deaths. That's 60,000 people that have mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and sons and daughters. So just keep in mind while you're thinking about those numbers that it's not just 60,000 deaths. It's 60,000 people who died. So
In the United States.
in the United States, yeah.
That's not the whole world even. Christopher Robin is here.
Yeah, Deborah
Josh
Jensen,
Kaplan.
AGK, Catholics do the Stations of the Cross on Good Friday. I just remember there was 3 hours of church from 12 to 3. I
Lots of
can't.
kneeling.
Yeah, it's lots of kneeling, lots of
Yeah,
getting up,
kneeling.
and I don't remember exactly what was going on at the time, but I do remember the 3 hours in church and a monstrance. I remember there was always a monstrance involved.
They said that Charme Allred passed yesterday.
Oh my goodness! From the virus or just old age?
Don't know.
Ooh, I'm looking that up while you're. That's got to be in the Santa Fe, New Mexican.
Maybe.
You know what's sad?
Nomadic. It is also Passover.
You know what's so sad
There are
about
more,
that?
if you want to send pictures, it's better to send them to the email. That way Toby can actually show them on screen.
Yeah. Charme Allred, a towering figure in the Santa Fe cultural scene and a co-founder of the International Folk Art Market, died Wednesday. She was 83. Known for her, I'm going to switch over to the full screen. Go ahead, finish up what you were doing, and then I'll come back to this.
Okay. James Bailey is not here. He says not here.
He's not here? I'm not here.
He says. Neo, not here either.
Christine Kenzie says 3 hours of church is a nap for me.
A nap.
A nap.
That's almost a whole night's sleep.
Yeah.
No new cases in New Mexico. Well, that's good. Good news. Things are not as bad as we had feared. Was it a Catholic church? If yes, did they throw water at you?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they walk up and down the aisles with that boom
Yep.
and incense, that funny smelling incense. I just remember the monstrance because I learned about a monster. I was an altar boy, so I had to carry half this stuff. I don't think they let the altar boys carry the monstrance. I think the priest has to do that.
You had to either be what do you call him? A deacon?
Deacon, yeah.
Yeah, a deacon or a priest, I think, to do that.
I don't remember having deacons. Deacons to me were a post-Toby invention of the Catholic Church because I don't remember having deacons when we were growing up.
We had a deacon in Arizona. I think he had been married, and then his wife had passed away, and then he joined the church.
I remember monsignors and fathers, but I don't remember any deacons.
In fact, that deacon baptized Jarrett. So that's yeah. Heavy loads is here, and I'm at the bottom.
Okay, good. So let me share that article with you just real quickly. So this is the article regarding, this is in Santa Fe, New Mexican, and it's about Charme Allred. For those of you that don't know, Charme Allred was a close personal friend of Forrest Fenn. They did a lot of projects together, including some of the books. And she was, what's wrong with my screen? Hang on, let me refresh. Ugh. Everything just died.
Uh-oh. Are we off?
No, we're fine. It's Chrome is just hung up there. So I'll read the top line, which is all I can move it to. It says, Charme Allred, oh my goodness gracious. Charme Allred, a towering figure in Santa Fe's cultural scene and a co-founder of the International Folk Art Market, died Wednesday. She was 83. Known for her humor, energy, and vivacious personality, Allred was remembered by friends and family as a coalescing figure in Santa Fe. At the time of her death, she was on the advisory board of the Folk Art Market and also served on the boards of the Lenzig Performing Arts Center and the Institute of American Indian Arts Foundation. She also volunteered at the Museum of Spanish Colonial Art, the Wheelwright Museum, and the American Indian and Santa Fe Symphony. Wow. I wonder if, let's see if they mention... In the mid-1990s, she created One Horse Land and Cattle Company, publishing with Santa Fe art dealer Forrest Fenn, which published his memoir, The Thrill of the Chase, in 2010. Allred also published a book of her own in 1996. Hang on. 1996's Amazing Mabel sketches by Mabel Dodge Lujan about the famed Taos arts patron and socialite. Let's see, Ashman. I don't see any quotes from Fenn. You know what's sad is I'll bet you. I wonder if Forrest will be able to get to the services. Anyway.
Maybe they'll live stream them. Because people who would be her friends would all be at high risk.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's sad. Hey, look.
What?
It was, I was watching House Husband Diaries before I started our show, and he was still, I had left it up there.
Oh.
All right. Why is this bad? All right, guys. So I feel like I'm off to a slow start here, but I guess I'm okay. All right. So we've done that. We do have some text messages, so I'm going to go through the text messages. That's all the emails that we have. Shelley, you're keeping an eye on the room to see. So our first one is from Ken in Oklahoma. Been looking at a lot of poetry possibilities lately. Found this at the end of Flywater. Fenn writes pillowed in and scented down. Research showed it was taken from a poem, Rendezvous with Death. Possible Mountain Man rendezvous location. I haven't seen the poem. Ken, certainly a possibility. Let me take a look at it later on tonight, and I will give you my opinion. Is that Tommy Lee Jones hosting tonight? Yes, it is. I just saw him in a movie entitled Emperor, and it was about, it was during the period that Douglas MacArthur was assigned the mission of reconstructing Japan. It was an interesting story, but they had Tommy Lee Jones playing MacArthur, and I thought he did a damn good job, honestly. Bill Blackwell, a.k.a. Wild Bill from Lake Tahoe, new listener. Thanks for reading my question last Wednesday. How do I send in some money to you guys for the things you do? Bill, the best way to do that, as I should have mentioned, if you'll go down to the bottom of your chat room screen, you'll see a stylized but grayed out $sign. Click on that $sign, and YouTube will walk you through the simple process of sending us some super chat. That's the best way you can do it. You can send
PayPal.
as little as 99 cents or as much as $500. Your choice.
Or PayPal.
Or PayPal. You can send it to paypal.me / a Gypsy's Kiss. You'll see that up there. By the way, that if you're going to send money, that's a good place to send it because PayPal doesn't take any out of it. YouTube takes 30% off the top of a super chat. Is Forrest still answering emails? Tried him yesterday and day before. Crickets. I think it kind of depends on the email. I know that he is answering some people depending on the email. But I think if the sense that I get is if he doesn't know you, and you just pop in one day with an email, you're probably not. And if you ask questions about the treasure, any of that stuff, I think he's just avoiding all of those now and limiting it like my Facebook page to the people he knows. And then this person also says, "You seem sad, Toby." I am kind of sad. I'm sad because the MTP is on the other side of town, and we're not in the same studio together. And she always makes me happy. And I'm sad because we lost Charmaine Allred, and that makes me sad because I'm sure it makes Forrest Fenn sad, and I don't like the idea that Forrest Fenn is sad, and that there is a possibility that he can't even go to her funeral after being a friend for so long, and a dear friend, a close friend. Charmaine Allred is Forrest Fenn's Shelley Carney. That's how close they were.
Oh.
That's how they were. Charmaine Allred and Forrest Fenn were as close as Toby, Michael Younis, and Shelley K. Carney. Jan Anschultz.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff, sorry.
And the Sassy.
And the Sassy clicked on the grayed out $sign. Well, the combination is worth any amount. I think we're do this. Are you going to sing this? Do you remember it?
No,
Okay.
you have to sing it.
I'm going to sing it then.
Okay, you sing it.
500 Pieces says 7820 Enchanted Hills Boulevard, Suite Rio Rancho. I don't know why he's posting that in there. That
So
is
people
our
can send
mailing
us
address.
money, I guess.
Yeah, if you want to send us cash, you can send it to that mail address.
Cash and checks.
That's in our description box below, by the way. And if you go there to visit, you'll meet all the people that run our local UPS store. Honey, make us feel quite sunny. They really are a honey, and sweet as apple pie. Okay, I'm going to have to practice that one. I haven't done that one.
Pretty good, though.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. So thank you, Jeff Anschutz and the sassy person. Let me see if there's any more. I've done all the chats. I am not sad. I'm not. I don't mean. I'm sorry if I look sad. The sadness is overcome by the fact that I get to be with Magical Treasure Princess tonight, although she isn't in the studio. So, but this too shall pass. Give us a couple of months. We'll be all through this, and then we can be back together. Christine, no, we didn't hide the chest, and the reason is it doesn't make sense to do it now because nobody should be getting out to look for a treasure. So once everything is cleared up, once everybody is able to go out and look for any kind of treasure, including Forrest Fenn's treasure, then we'll pick a place to hide it and let everybody be aware of it. The treasure chest still sits right back there on our desk. So that made more sense to us. Ken in Oklahoma, let's see, watched the marathon with Cal and K-Pro, Cynthia, and a guy named Justin. Best part was that Justin has trained his dog to sniff out bronze. Meanwhile, my dog is snoring on the couch. Yeah, I don't know how he did that because if I remember correctly, dogs can only sniff out organic materials and bronze is not organic. So that must have been some trick. Justin is Justin Posey, the guy that we met at the World Series of Fenn. And he's a really nice guy. And if I remember correctly, he's been boots on the ground 700 times. So, yeah, he gets the title of the lead boots on the ground guy. Let's see. So I did get a bunch of memes here, but I can't play them because they're on their phone. New memes, email to come soon. Okay, so Jim is going to send them to the email address. Let's take a look at see what we've got on the phone lines. Oh, we do have a voicemail. I haven't heard this one, so let me get the button ready. What the? From Great Bend, Kansas.
Toby, this is Mr. T. Would like for you to give me a call. I need your guys' address out there. I'm about ready to give you a phone number here.
Oh, blah, 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 blah.
If you want to. Thanks. Bye-bye.
If you want to.
Okay, Mr. T, 500 Pieces, was it, posted our address in the chat room, but our mailing address is in the description box below. I guess I can get that for you. I'll put it back in the... I guess I could text him back, huh? What the heck? I'm going to call him.
Did you see the super chat? Did you see the super chat? From another one from Jeff. I've got a $10 donation for a Crazy Bird collar with a crazy song.
Yay, we're looking forward to it. Thank you for that one, though. We'll see if we can get one. See how crazy it gets. Do you count Barry as a crazy bird? Because I can call him and let's call Mr. T, see what he's got to say.
Martin Kruger says, how much money to hire you for my first recon?
Hello.
Mr. T.
Hey, what's going on, cowboy?
Not a whole bunch. How about you?
I'm doing good.
I am happy to hear that. So you said you needed our address. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
I'd like to have your address.
It's always in the description box below. If you just take the description box below, but let me get that for you, and I'll put it. Are you watching the chat room right now?
Well, yeah, I am. But I'm on my phone. Not
Oh,
a
okay.
computer.
All right. Have you got something to write with?
I do.
It's 7820 Enchanted Hills Boulevard.
Okay.
Suite A204.
Okay.
Rio Rancho,
Okay.
New Mexico, 87144.
Give me that number again.
87144.
Gotcha.
All right.
Very good. Everything's ever going in New Mexico.
Everything is going okay. It would be a lot better if we were through this period of the virus. But,
I hear you there.
you know, as long as everybody's in the same place right now. So we're not any
Yep.
better or any worse than anybody else as long as we don't get sick. And the best way not to get sick is to stay away from everybody else. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're pretty slow where I work. I work in the medical field, and we've went from like 50 people down to about 6 a day.
Oh, really? So you feel like you're on the west end of that curve now?
Well, and everybody's listening for a change and
Yeah.
staying home.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest difference. That was the biggest change in the numbers. Let me take a look at that. Hang on just a sec. Let's see what the curve says for the U.S. because I feel like we've hit a kind of demarcation point. Even the interview with Dr. Fauci this morning, he thought that the numbers were going to be a lot lower than we expected. Yeah, the U.S. peak is April 11th tomorrow. So what state did you say you were in?
Kansas.
Kansas. Let's see what's going on in Kansas.
Yeah, we have a few.
Oh, well, first of all, you don't have a big peak. You're not gonna come anywhere near your projected bed use. So it says
No.
your peak is going to hit May 1st, but you've already flattened the curve. I mean, it's already as flat as anything's going to get.
Sure.
And you're going to come off the peak right around June 3rd. So, yeah, whatever you guys did actually had a very flattening effect. Here, let me show you the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're not real densely populated here either, like they are in, say, New York City. They're stacked on top of each other there. So.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things I read an article recently that indicated the biggest problem in rural communities in states that had a lot of rural communities in them is that those rural communities don't have the kind of or the level of emergency services that some of the bigger communities do. That
Sure.
if they did have a big outbreak, that they would have trouble meeting it. We were talking on Wednesday about Gunnison, Colorado, which has basically closed the city down to foreigners. And what I mean by foreigners is people that don't live in Gunnison, Colorado.
Right.
And at first it sounds post-apocalyptic, but what they were doing is they don't have the emergency medical services that would be required if they had any more than a couple of people who got sick. So I thought it was a wise move on their part.
Sure it is.
So,
yeah.
All right, sir. Well, thank you for calling in, or thank you for letting me call you, and thank you for whatever you sent us. We appreciate it.
All righty. I'll send you a little something.
We look forward to it. Thank you.
All righty, sir. Thank you.
You take care. Bye-bye. I like when people say it's a something because it leaves your mind can wander in terms of interpretation. Like, is this going to be a gold bar? Maybe. You seem sad, Toby. Oh, did you watch Last Smells Like Sunshine video? Amazing. No, I haven't yet. But I believe it. He's done some very good work up until this point. Ken in Oklahoma. Speaking of screaming from my driveway, I did about wait a minute. Hang on. Yeah. I did about 2 hours of Amelia Earhart research for Homa Brown. Only reference I found was a yearbook picture of her captioned, "Girl in Brown Walks Alone." No mention of that being a nickname. I do not believe so. Ken, you know, when you listen to searchers talking about their theory, it is my experience that they're going to take things that are comfortable for them, and I guess I could call it confirmation bias, and they'll turn it into something bigger than it is. I mean, literally, have you ever heard me talk about the New Mexico fishing regulations? Well, if you heard me talk about the New Mexico fishing regulations, it's like Barry talking about the Homer Brown. It's the same thing. We just exaggerate everything and we fit it into our theory to make our theory work. But dang, he does get excited, doesn't he? Woo! He does get excited. All right, that is all the text messages, and I believe that is all the voicemails. We got that taken care of. Now everybody has our shipping address, our address, which is good. You're welcome to send us anything. That address. Thank goodness for UPS, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's right. UPS, USPS.
All right, let's open up the phone lines, guys. I think we'll do that a little bit early, maybe get out of here a little bit early so you guys can finish your Friday night with some Netflix and chill kind of action, because everybody deserves a little bit of Netflix and chill. Beep. All right, phone lines are open. 202-815-1171. Call us and tell us what you think of the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. Or maybe talk about Charmaine if you have any information. I'd be interested if you had any information. The only thing, I never met Miss Allred. I knew about her through my research for Forrest Fenn, but every time he spoke of her in the same way that I would speak of the magical treasure princess. It was that kind. You could tell it was a solid relationship. Christine Kenzie has my address in her journals. I don't know whether
Holy and K-Pro just showed up. They must have been having a girls' night or something.
Oh. Wow. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Howdy, you've reached Toby and Shelley on AGK. What's your name, where are you calling from, and what's your observation?
Hi, it's Sherry from PA.
Hi, Sherry from PA. How are you doing? Haven't heard from you for a while.
Yeah, good. How are you? How are you guys?
I'm doing fine, and I think the magical treasure princess is doing fine as well.
Awesome.
So how can I help you tonight?
Well, I'm going to give up a secret.
Oh, really? You know, two people could keep a secret if one of the persons shoots the other person. Is that how you feel about that?
I know, but in this case, one person can't even keep a secret.
Oh, all right. Okay, well, go ahead with your secret.
Okay, yeah.
Because we're about to share it with the entire chat room now, so they ain't going to be much of a secret after this.
I know. And I've been debating about it, but I really want to share it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't have my book with me, unfortunately, Thrill of the Chase, because we were in a hurry to get out of California 3.5 weeks ago. So I don't know the page number, but it's the photo of Forrest where he is standing by his jet. And I noticed a real big inconsistency in the cut line, the caption for that photo. I'll try to remember it off the top of my head, but what I took note of was the numbers.
I climbed that ladder 274 times in Vietnam, and each time I wondered if that beautiful plane would bring me home again. It did 272 times. Is that the one?
Yes, that's the one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So I'm going to show our audience which one she's talking about. It's on page 77 of The Thrill of the Chase in the chapter entitled My War for Me. All right, so go.
Okay. So having been an editor before myself and doing a lot of proofreading, he always talks about the fact that he went on 328 missions and got shot down twice. So he actually completed 326. So why are those numbers different?
It's two different aircraft.
What do you mean?
He flew two different aircraft when he was in Vietnam. This is the second of the two in which he completed the final 274 missions.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for straightening that out. I thought it was a big secret. I thought it might help somebody because it doesn't really help me, but darn.
Yeah. That was the aircraft. I don't know. I don't know whether or not it was a different aircraft or it's the same aircraft and it was put out of service. But there's a lot of reasons you wouldn't fly the same aircraft over the 365-day tour of duty. So.
Okay, well, you just saved me a lot of research, so thank you very much.
I'm glad that I could. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope I didn't spoil some interesting theory you were developing.
No, actually, because I couldn't put it into myself, so that helps me a lot. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Oh, and I just wanted to say I love Shelley's Important Words videos. Those are awesome.
She's good at it, isn't she?
Yes.
She's always been more committed to the research. I don't have the patience for the kind of research that she does. And over the years, she's gotten really good at it. And I think the other thing, too, is she's not encumbered by bias. I tend to be encumbered by bias. And she's not. And so it gives her the ability to take a different look and perspective on things. And I really appreciate that about her. So thank you for saying that.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Sherry from Pennsylvania. You have a good evening.
Thank you. You also.
Bye now. So a nice little compliment for the MTP. How nice is that? Got anything going on in the room there? Reading. All right. Hey, California, what's your name? Where are you calling from besides California? And what's your question or thoughts on the treasure hunt?
Okay, my name is Bruce Allender. I'm calling from Washington, and I wanted to make a few suggestions about a couple of the clues that I think can be interpreted a little differently.
I do want to remind you that your call is a public call on our forum, so there's going to be other people that are listening to your theories and you're sharing your thoughts. So
Sure.
I want to make sure you're aware of that.
That's fair enough.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, one of the things that I found interesting is a clue that was given back in 2015. He said the treasure is not in a graveyard. Why did he use graveyard, and how come he's never clarified that since then to include cemetery or burial place?
Yeah.
I've looked and he doesn't use that anywhere. And then I also noted that he further elaborated that it's not associated with any structure. If you go and Google what is the difference between cemetery and graveyard, it's funny, the word associated crops up in a number of definitions because a graveyard is always associated with the church. So when people automatically assume, because of the way he couched it, that I don't want people digging up people's graves and so forth,
yeah,
and it's not in a graveyard, did he really mean that it's not associated with any kind of burial ground at all? Or did he merely mean that it's not in a graveyard, as graveyard is defined very narrowly when you split hairs about the difference?
Well, that's a good question. So first of all, that's really not a clue, right? That's like don't look in Idaho or Nevada. Those are what I call anti-clues. They really don't help you get closer to the treasure because he's just telling you where not to look. And I think you have to. Well, I think you have to recognize in this context that he was making a very. He was saying it for a reason, and the reason was there were indications that people were trying to dig up his parents' graves in a cemetery.
Uh-huh. Well, he actually referred to it as being a clue when he was on the Today Show. And so, to me, that made it be a little more interesting than some of the other things that he said. Another thing that he
So what you're suggesting is that when Fenn tells us not to look for something, if he says, don't waste your time in the Rio Grande, because he did say that effectively. I mean, those aren't his words. So are you suggesting that when Fenn says, don't look in the Rio Grande, or it's not, the treasure isn't in the Rio Grande, your sense is that he's giving us a clue when he says that?
Not necessarily. I mean, he's very cagey. When he specifies the Rio Grande, he's telling you don't look in the Rio Grande. I mean, he doesn't necessarily just say don't look in the Green River or any of the other rivers. Although he has said that it's not underwater. When he specifically says that it's not under something, like he said, it's not under a man-made object.
Right.
Then that's fine. But when he specifies it's not in a graveyard, but he doesn't go on to say, and it's not in a cemetery or anything having to do with the burial ground whatsoever, that would clarify it, and you would say, okay, that's what he really means. But if he's very specific and says graveyard, and it's interesting because most of the time when he talks about growing up in his childhood and everything, he refers to cemetery. He doesn't refer to graveyard. I only see it referenced once, maybe I didn't check, but I think only once in his book does he actually call it a graveyard. Everywhere else he calls it a cemetery.
So his his quote goes back to 2015. He says, and hang on, let me just see the article because I want to see the context for it. Just give me 1 second here. So that was the Tom Bastick article in the Travel Pulse. So he says, no need to dig up old outhouses. The treasure is not associated with any structure. The treasure is not in a graveyard. So are you suggesting that because he used the word graveyard, it could be in a cemetery?
Right. I'm saying that all he eliminated by saying that was graveyards in their most narrowly defined sense.
Right. The graveyard being associated with a church of some kind.
Right. And then when he goes further to say that it's not associated with a structure, that rules out graveyards altogether, but it doesn't rule anything else out. And it's interesting that he would use that because it leads me to believe that maybe there's actually something more there.
Let's see if he's used it. He has used the word cemetery, but always in a very different context. So why would he use the word grave? What makes you? Why do you think he used the word graveyard and didn't use the word cemetery or use the phrase "it's not in a cemetery or a graveyard"? Do you think he knew the difference?
I think he knew the difference, and he was very, very specific in that regard without letting on that he was being that specific, because what that does is it automatically throws people, they all jump to the conclusion, okay, it's not in a graveyard, so that means cemetery, that means everything, so that's off limits.
So that creates the interesting conundrum. So we actually have two options here, right? One option is that he's using the word graveyard in a metaphorical sense. And the other option is he's using the word graveyard in a literal sense. So he tells us it's not in a graveyard. The implications of that is, you said it was a clue. Are you saying that the clue in the phrase "it's not in a graveyard" is that it is in a cemetery?
Well, I'm saying that if I was him and I was trying to throw people off the trail, but in a safe manner where nobody could say, "Oh, you lied to us. You told us it wasn't in a cemetery." Well, no, I didn't tell you that. I told you it was not in a graveyard.
Right.
And there's a difference. And that's the point I'm making. If I project myself into him, and as cagey as he is with things, and I'm wanting to put it in in close proximity to where someone is buried, but it's not in the classical definition of a graveyard, and I can prove it because it's not associated with the church and so forth, then it's easy for me to say, hey, it's not in a graveyard, and let everybody assume that I'm talking about graveyards, cemeteries, everything else. And so they go on their merry way, and places they would otherwise look, they already consider off limits. Oh, yeah, Fenn said it's not there, so I don't need to look there.
All right, so then let's go to the next question, and I'm not sure if you answered it for me or not.
Okay.
Are you of the opinion that the treasure chest is hidden in a cemetery?
Well, I have a solve that puts it in close proximity to more than one buried person, but it would not be considered a graveyard.
Because it's not associated with a church.
That's right.
So, but there are lots of cemeteries out there, again, not associated
Right.
with a church. As a matter of fact, we were in one up above on the eastern approach to Rio de los Pinos. We were in that cemetery. And that would be a cemetery because it was not associated with a church. There is a church further down the road, Iglesia San Miguel, that does have a graveyard associated with it. So a cemetery to you, I guess what I should ask is, what is your fundamental definition of a cemetery? In order, well, let me ask the question a different way. In order for your theory to work, how do you define cemetery?
Well, I need to respond to that slightly differently. I'm saying a graveyard is a graveyard as it's defined, and a cemetery basically takes up the rest.
Okay.
Everything that is not specifically defined as a graveyard would then fall under cemetery.
Right. So if I was a old pioneer and I was traveling my way along the Santa Fe Trail, headed for Santa Fe from Kansas or Oklahoma, through Oklahoma, Kansas. And along the way, we were attacked by a bunch of Indians, and one of the Indians took out my best friend. And I decided to bury him along the route there, rather than bring him with me all the way to Santa Fe. Did I just bury him in what you would call a cemetery?
Well, I would call it not a graveyard, so you can either default to cemetery or call it a burial ground or whatever.
All right.
Basically, the point that I'm making just is that the definition of graveyard is very specific if you look it up. And therefore, to rule out everything else that also can be called a graveyard is premature.
Right, but just for the sake of people who might go based on your the information that you've provided and the information that you have provided and you've made a point about providing, is that a cemetery is not a graveyard, and a graveyard has a very specific definition, and it may support your theory, but I want to make sure you are not suggesting that anyone should be digging up cemeteries. Is that correct?
Oh, that's correct.
Right.
I certainly do not encourage anyone to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
The issue, as I see it, is that you can be looking around somewhere and you can say, oh, that's a graveyard. He said it's not in a graveyard, so I don't look there.
Right.
And obviously I don't encourage people to dig under gravestones or dig up anyone's grave.
Right.
But within the boundaries, like along the edge, or if it happens to have a stone fence row or something like that, it does not make it out of bounds within reason. You have to kind of think about, well, what would you expect Fenn to do? Would he desecrate somebody's grave?
No. Right.
So maybe sneak in a place where there's not a body but is still within a cemetery?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Okay. All right. Well, again, that's all I wanted to make a search. So what you're suggesting is that people can incorporate the location of a cemetery into their theory to the extent that they don't start digging in the cemetery.
Right.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad we got that straight now.
There's one other hint. I don't know that you would call it a clue. He says that it's not in close proximity to a human trail.
Right.
And I was looking into the definition of trail, and trail happens to be a non-paved surface.
Okay.
So you could have a sidewalk, and you could say that's a human trail because only humans are going to be using that.
Right.
But under the definition of a trail, it's not. So you could have something that's totally surrounded by a sidewalk, and you would think, hey, that's off limits because it's not in close proximity to a human trail. That's not a human trail.
Got it. Wow. So you've done your homework on these definitions, it sounds like.
I actually have a solve that I'd like to talk to you about because it's in a place that lots of people have looked, but because I think they have overlooked things by making assumptions, broad assumptions, rather than splitting hairs and really paying attention to what he has said. I think many more than the a few that he's mentioned have been well within 200 feet of this place.
Mm-hmm.
And
but that's not something you want to talk about on the air, is that correct?
I don't, because there's still a slight chance that I might get out there this year to try to solve it once and for all myself.
Well, of course, we strongly recommend that anybody who's going out wait until after we have resolved this little issue with the coronavirus, but good luck with that.
Certainly.
Sounds like you've done a lot of homework.
It's important to be socially responsible as much as you can, and also to make sure that what you're thinking about makes sense. And the solve that I have, I sat down and wrote out 63 different things that make it, I'm so certain that it's where it is that I could tell you exactly where it is and you could walk up to it just like he says that you can. I do happen to believe it's buried, so you would actually have to get it out of the ground, but nevertheless, I believe I know precisely where it is. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, I would welcome a chance to talk
I've
to you about
I've got a couple of questions from the room for you. One of them is they would like to know what state you're searching in.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Another New Mexico. Have you filled out the survey?
No, I haven't.
We have a survey. Are you watching the room?
I'm actually a first-time caller, and I'm talking on my phone. I was afraid if I watched the thing, it would interfere and cause interference.
Oh, okay. Well, if you get a chance, in the description box below, there's this video. There's our annual survey of searchers, and actually, I should probably do that right now. I'm going to post the address in the chat room, but it's also in the description box below. We'd appreciate it if you'd take that survey.
Okay.
So I'm going to post it right now. Searcher survey, will keep it. It will be active through the end of April. So for those of you in the room, I'm going to post that right here just to make sure that you get to the right place. And I've already responded, so it's not going to do that for me. So I'm going to post this survey address in the chat room. Guys, if you have not already completed the survey, I would appreciate it if you would do that. I haven't looked at it. We were in our member vault last night, and someone asked how the survey was coming along. And I don't look at the data. I look to make sure we are getting responses. I count the number of respondents, but I don't look at the data until the end of the month when the data is complete. So that's when I can give you some feedback, and we'll pick one of our show nights, and we'll present all the data to you so you guys can share in the data collection and interpretation experience. All right, sir. Well, thank you very much for calling in. We look forward to your call. Good luck with your theory, and let us know after you go out and explore New Mexico.
Okay, thank you very much.
My pleasure. You have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
We got a super chat from Jeff Anschutz, and he's asked us to play the Crazy Birds video for him.
Crazy Birds? All right. We haven't done the Crazy Birds in a while. Do we have any? All right, here we go. Crazy Birds for Jeff Anschutz. Don't feel bad, Zozo. I've had to do the Walk of Shame 34 times, and sometimes in a very public way on my own YouTube channel. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, was it?
Pie Day.
When? 3.14, that was last month.
I just remember you eating humble pie. I think it was on Pie Day last year.
When I was eating apple pie?
Just came into my mind.
Oh, yeah, it was Pie Day. I love Pie Day. And if you, is it IHOP? No, who has pie? You can go in and
Village Inn.
Village Inn will give you Slice of pie on Pie Day. Sacramento, California. Is this the same guy? Wait a minute. Hey, you reached Toby and Shelley on a Gypsy's Kiss. What's your name? What you calling about?
Just remember you eating tumble pie.
You know what you have to do?
Last
You have to turn the audio down on your computer. Otherwise, we're going to get that feedback, and it's going to be confusing.
And if you're...
So, there we go. That's better. So, what's your name?
Martin Krieger.
Hey, Martin. How are you doing? You don't have to give us your last name. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Sacramento, California.
Sacramento, California. Who do we know from Sacramento, California?
Martin.
Well, besides Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who it is? The two guys. Anyway, don't say it. Hey, Martin, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just cabin fever, you know.
Yeah, like all of us. I know the feeling, but certainly not a real fever, right? I hope you're using that as a euphemism.
Oh no. I've been here since March 23rd.
Wow.
In the apartment, and haven't shaven and still in flip flops.
Wow, nice. Haven't shaven. Boy, I say I can't do that. I've got 5-6 shows to do every week, so I've got to shower and shave and not dress up in my pajamas.
You could probably rock a beard. Come on.
I haven't for years. When I was younger. Hey, so what's up? First of all, I want you to know you're on the air, so you're sharing all this confidential information with 200 other people. So.
No, I get it.
Okay.
So, I'm a news searcher.
My favorite.
Relatively new.
I love news searchers. They're the best thing in the world.
Good. I started reading about the Forrest Fenn treasure in 2018. And refused to look at any podcasts, interviews, or anything else.
Yeah.
And base everything on just the map and the poem.
And which map were you using?
Recently. The map that's in the book.
Oh. The one on the page opposite the poem? That map?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, that puts you right there.
I've never gone anywhere else besides that.
All right. Well, great. So you're in New Mexico, because that's what that map is about.
Well, I'm definitely not in New Mexico.
Oh, well, how can you use that map and not being in New Mexico?
I'm using the Forrest Fenn map.
Oh, you mean the one that was in Too Far to Walk?
Yes.
The Rocky Mountains map. Oh, okay.
Yes,
all right.
I'm sorry.
No, no worries. No worries.
Sorry.
All right. So what state are you in? Can you share what state you're in?
My first solve was Wyoming.
Yeah.
Like many others. But my current solve is Montana.
Montana. Wow.
Yeah.
So in both of these, you have the opportunity to be in Yellowstone, whether it's Wyoming or Montana, primarily Wyoming.
Both my solves, my first solve being in Wyoming, it took me out of Yellowstone very quickly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll be more than happy to share my first solve with you.
Oh, no. I want to hear about your current solve, because that sounds to me like...
Of course you do.
Yeah.
And that's why I texted you earlier, and Shelley read it. It was the last text that she read. Is how much money to take you to my current solve?
Oh, for us to go.
Do I have to pay you?
Yeah. You know what? We were doing that for a while back in 2018. And people paid us to go look at their...
No. I wouldn't pay you to go look.
Oh, okay. All right.
I would pay you to come with me, because what I have will make the hair on your neck stand up on Shelley.
I suppose if you wanted to pay me to go look for your... go look for your theory, I could go... We'd have to go to Wyoming. That's an expensive trip, right?
No, that's Montana.
Oh, Montana. Well, that's a little bit more expensive.
All right.
So what's the? So I suppose I have to ask.
Well,
what's the point of me coming along?
Well, I'll be happy to fly to New Mexico to explain that to you.
Oh, interesting.
I have warm water salt,
Yeah.
as everybody refers to,
Yeah.
that is 100%. Canyon Down 100%, Homa Brown 100%. There's no questions, and even based on what I know that Forrest has said, let me put it this way. Let me just say that even if I was guessing, and based on what Mr. Fenn has stated in his interviews,
Yeah.
which I have just now recently gone through up into the point where he takes, time off to take his dog, Willie,
Yeah.
spend time with his dog, Willie. I mean, up to that point right there, and everything that he said, including what Shelley said last night about if you don't know where warm water's halt,
Stay home.
you might as well stay home and play canasta, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so I can use that one. I can use Flying into the Teeth of the Rockies. I can use, 200, 500 feet. Forrest wants people to know things without telling them things.
Right. Yeah.
And I think you have to agree with that.
Oh, no, absolutely. I agree with that.
All right.
So have you taken our survey yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And when it got to the question,
Montana.
yeah, well, not only 100% Montana, but what is your confidence that you're going to recover this treasure this year? Percentage probability.
Well, I wanted to go last year, but because of different reasons, I couldn't travel. No, I mean, I'm ready to go in August right now.
Assuming that we've resolved the issue associated with this.
Yeah, I mean, well, August was my date before. I mean, there's 18 inches of snow right now where I want to go.
Right.
So, I mean, I've been, I've tried, Toby, I've tried so hard to disprove myself that it's gotten to a point that it's redundant. I mean, and, the warm waters, the Canyon Down, the Homa Brown. I mean, the thing that clinched it for me is I finally found Forrest's keyword, which really isn't a keyword per cipher.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not a cipher, but
right.
It is in the poem. Homa Brown is in the poem. Everything is there. I mean,
so without giving your location away or the basis for your theory away, what was it in the thrill of the chase that finally for you said, "Oh, I know where that treasure is"?
This is going to sound stupid, but it's going to be.
Oh, it can't be any worse than the stuff I've already heard or read. So,
to be able to jump in the back of a pickup truck with your family,
right,
with a sandwich, and
sleeping bag.
Well, no, just with just a day trip. I mean, the location that I found is literally less than 600 feet from a remote parking area that a two-wheel drive can park.
So, so did you? I'm gonna ask a question that was asked in the room because it was from the previous guy. Does your theory include the use, not necessarily the digging in of, but the use of a cemetery? Is there cemetery in your theory?
No cemetery at all.
All right, just wanted to make sure because want to see if anybody was. I thought maybe there was some crossover here that we could take advantage of.
No cemetery at all.
All right, we're coming up on our 10 minutes. Any final words of advice for the people that are listening in?
Yeah, I sent out a text late yesterday that I searched for my first treasure hunt was with my dad.
Oh yeah, I did get that text message. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and it was treasure in search of a gold horse, in search of the golden horse, and it was never solved. And it turned out that the information provided wasn't accurate in the book and the movie. So that's kind of heart-wrenching. But I drove past that treasure every day for 3 years when I lived in Leadville, Colorado, and worked at a Vail in Aspen. So,
So did
to say
someone
that-
finally solve?
No, they had to cancel it. They
Because they
donated
made
the
a
treasure
mistake?
to the Girls and Boys Club of America, and they're still talking about it. It was by Dr. Krypton or something like that.
Dr. Krypton.
I mean, it was just a freaky. It was, but you know what? It brought me and my dad so close.
So
even though we were always out with metal detectors and digging up ghost towns and doing all that stuff through my youth.
right.
I mean, so this isn't new to me, but it is interesting. I mean, it does pass the time, and it does allow our brains to imagine and to explore, before we even leave our living rooms.
Yeah. All right. Well, come visit when you head this way, and
So
you're
how
going out.
much?
Well, you know what? I won't even tell you how much until I'll sign a non-disclosure agreement, and until I hear your theory, because I've got to hear it, and I'll go if it's rational, and I won't go if it's not.
It's what the internet has whispered.
Yeah.
I'm very logical.
Yeah.
I'm an IT coordinator.
Yeah.
So I don't deal with irrational or illogical scenarios.
Oh, all right.
For me, my brain just doesn't work that way.
All right. Well, that's
so
honestly.
If one clue leads to another.
Yeah.
Then I take it. I won't bet. I have never backed into a clue. That's why my first solve did not work.
Yeah.
My second solve did it. All the way down to, if you're brave and in the wood.
Right.
So
we'll
talk. Believe me.
Okay. Well, I look forward to it, and of course, it has to be. I'm a high risk individual for the coronavirus.
So am I.
So
that's
it's
why I'm at home.
Oh, okay.
So I am high risk, and I am, but I have a base camp in Colorado already set up at the family farm.
Yeah.
Because I'm not originally from California. I'm from Colorado. And you probably can tell that by my email address.
Yep.
But anyway, no, we'll talk.
All right. I look forward to it.
I love you guys, and take care.
Thank you, and stay healthy.
All right, you too.
Talk to you later.
Guys. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Super chat?
Super chat
From
Sturmworm. Sturmworm, who's also an IT professional, I think. A lot of IT professionals in our group. We did get a, let's see.
Yeah, Toby, this is Ken in Oklahoma.
No,
I got the numbers from the book question for you, too, if you want to give me a call. Thanks.
Yeah, you know what you can tell about Ken? He's an expert because he doesn't give his phone number. Let's give him a call. Because I don't have to go blah, 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 blah.
He's watched a couple times.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello?
Hey, Ken, it's Toby and Shelley.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good, thank you. You said you had some numbers that you wanted to talk about?
So, I heard the lady call in about the airplane picture. I sent this in a text one time, but I don't think you got it. But do you have any knowledge about Forrest in Santa Fe in the 60s? Because using the numbers about when he says he won the bracelet playing pool, it puts him winning that bracelet in 1965. And so when I researched the guy that owned the bracelet, he was living and working in Santa Fe in that time.
So I to answer your question, no, I have no knowledge of he certainly wasn't living here in 1965. He was still in the
Right.
military, and there are no
Yeah.
the
I
closest.
was wondering, was he at Luke at that time?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I mean, I
okay.
haven't
Yeah.
researched. I haven't researched anything before 1972. Honestly.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that you didn't have an answer right away, because I have not read anything but Thrill of the Chase. I didn't read Too Far to Walk, so he has no Santa Fe stories pre them moving there from Lubbock.
I believe so. In the Thrill of the Chase, there may be something in Too Far to Walk because it's more extensive, but I don't recall. The Santa Fe stories in the Thrill of the Chase are all after 1972.
Yeah. Okay.
And actually, I'm not even going to call them Santa Fe stories. I'm going to call them New Mexico stories, because there's very little about Santa Fe other than, he talks about his gallery and things like that. So.
Yeah. One part of that time period too that I'm trying to wonder about is I don't know what he mentions in Too Far to Walk, but does he ever tell any stories about Rex Aerosmith?
No. As a matter of fact, Shelley and I have assumed that that relationship didn't end in a healthy way, and so it's never discussed. I think that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
And what leads me back to the bracelet story is I don't think, because that guy was a longtime Santa Fe fixture, I don't think Forrest.
Who is that guy you keep referring to?
Rex Aerosmith.
Oh, but he was not a relative to, wasn't the guy from the bracelet related to the Hilton family?
Yeah, no, this is different. I'm just trying to fill in the 60s a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think this guy would have just gone into business with some stranger.
Yeah.
That I think Forrest had to develop a relationship with this guy over probably those years. And so I don't know if there's something relating to him where he thinks that might lead somebody to too much evidence to the chest, or if he used to frequent Santa Fe with a buddy from the Air Force and he might have an idea where the secret place is.
What was interesting?
Why Forrest just seems to omit that whole time period.
Here's what's interesting about Santa Fe in that period. There was a bar in town right up from the Pink Adobe, which is I also know is Forrest's favorite place. It is now called the Rio Chama, I think. But before that, it was called the Bull Ring. I used to hang out there. And the Bull Ring was owned by a former Air Force Thunderbird pilot. And there was a big picture. Yeah. There was behind the bar. There was a big painting of him standing in front of his. They used to fly Thunderbirds, I think, in the. I'm sorry, not Thunderbirds. F-100s in the Thunderbird colors behind the bar, and I recall anytime a fighter jock would come up from Albuquerque into Santa Fe in uniform, and I don't mean uniform, in his jumpsuit, they got free drinks.
Yeah, okay. See, I can see that because I know Forrest was at Luke, and I grew up in Colorado Springs, and all during the 70s, Thunderbirds flew T-38s, which was also the training jet at Luke. So I'm sure Forrest spent time in a T-38.
Because he did training at Luke. He was training.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I got a feeling he probably spent a lot of time in Santa Fe, and for some reason he's not talking about it.
Oh, that's interesting. So it is very possible. I remember going to parties. I wish I could remember his name. Going to parties at his house up on the side of the hill above Santa Fe. The hills east of Santa Fe. He had a house that overlooked Santa Fe. And he was a big thing in Santa Fe because he had the Bull Ring. The Bull Ring was the bar that was closest to the state capitol, the Roundhouse. And so all the politicians would go there. It didn't have, I'm trying to remember if it had tables, but I don't remember it being much of a restaurant. In New Mexico, you don't have, like in Texas, a certain percentage of your income in a bar has to come from food. New Mexico didn't have that. You could have a straight bar. And the Bull Ring was the place to hang out not only because it was a kind of cool bar to be at, but it was because it was a right next to the roundhouse. It was so whenever the legislature was in session, it was a very busy place. And if you wanted to do some politicking, that's where you did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a little research on the whole Rex Aerosmith time, and what may or may not speculative led to any kind of falling out there is I saw part of the partnership was futures on $100,000 worth of bronze casting jobs.
Wow.
So I don't know, if that didn't happen or what, how that fell apart. And I know he has sons that were there or still there in the art business, Rex Aerosmith.
I don't know. The only thing I know about Rex Aerosmith is that he was an early business partner to Forrest Fenn, and within a year of them forming a partnership, the partnership was dissolved. So I did get some text. Somebody just sent me a text. Who is this? He says Byron Harvey III lived in Phoenix from 1960 to 1976. Not New Mexico. So it is possible that he was in Phoenix when he won that bracelet, not necessarily Santa Fe.
Oh, okay. See, I thought I read a thing where he was working in Santa Fe. Okay. Well, then I redact that comment.
All right. But I will tell you another story related to the bull ring. You ready for this?
Yeah.
So I wrote a song called She Played Memories that we play on Saturday Night Church of the Search.
Yeah.
And it's a song about a singer and a guitar player. The singer and the guitar player that I wrote that song about played at the bull ring. And her name was Kaija Oman. And that's who I wrote that song about.
All right. All right, well, that'll go in one of your memoirs.
Yeah, you know what? It just, as you was thinking about the bull ring, and that all came back, flooding back.
Yeah. Hey, let me shoot a quick question to Shelley, because she's lonely. Can she give me, this is a sexist thing to say, but Shelley, can you give us any info on Fenn's wife and, how she's been involved in the world of art and artifacts? Did she ever really care about it, or what do you know about her?
Very little. I mean, she was a business major, so I'm sure she was in charge of running the business as much as is possible. But other than that, I don't think she was much into the art.
Okay. So she wasn't real hands-on finding and buying paintings or any of that stuff?
No, I don't. I think that was his thrill of the chase. The sense you get of the relationship is that they made a great partnership, and that in that partnership, her responsibility, because she was a business major, was ensuring the integrity of the books. And that's the sense that's how you, when you visit with them, that's kind of how you feel it's put together, that he was the more ethereal personality while she was down to earth. You get that real sense of her being the down to earth member of the.
Yeah, I definitely, in the little bits I've heard and seen of her, I get that from her. Hey, can I talk about one thing real quick about the trouble with the San Lazaro thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I researched that because I wanted to learn more about it. And so at another point, besides the FBI raid, supposedly a government agent went undercover on the site and said that he saw human bones, including a finger bone.
Yes.
And so they were about to go, do another thing with Forrest, but he countersued in, saying that the guy was on his property, illegal, this and that. And the case got dropped.
Right.
But what was strange was, in a California Magazine article, the guy who wrote the article, one of Fenn's daughters chimed in on the interview and said, yeah, one time he wore a necklace with fingers to my such and such.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't know what they were, but they were real fingers. And I'm like, was that like something Forrest jabbing the government? Like in other words, what I'm trying to get at in the big picture is, would he purposely want to leave his bones in New Mexico so he can give a big finger to the government, basically?
So you'd have to think of it in the context of where it was placed. When something is placed in a pueblo, and the pueblo, the title to that pueblo, is transferred from the pueblo to the government, then or the University of New Mexico, an entity that is not a person, right? Let's say that the pueblo or whoever owned the property transferred the title of San Lazaro to a school. Then it would be treated as the kind of property that is academic. Everything would be treated with respect. They would archive a lot of that stuff, but it wasn't. The title, whoever owned the title to that land, transferred the title to that land to Forrest Fenn. And somewhere in that title, it gave him the right to do whatever he wanted to do with whatever was upon that land. Now, the rational thinking of why Forrest had the freedom to do what he did is that he bought that land from one of the tribes.
Right.
Rather than an individual who was...
The point of that second article I read, though, was that even at that time, there was law on the book that said if you find human remains on your private property, you have to stop.
I couldn't agree or disagree, but apparently there was something about a weakness in that law that enabled Fenn to countersue and win the argument. And if it was the fact that whoever was undercover, so being undercover is not enough. It's not enough to say the guy was undercover, therefore you can't use the evidence. That's not a credible reason. There had to be some other reason. Being undercover is not a reason for discounting the evidence for the case.
Well, the way I read the article, it sounded like he didn't attempt to remove the bones. He just reported seeing them, and then they were about to go take more action against Forrest, but Forrest countersued, saying that he would not allow them on the property and something, and it ended up just getting dropped.
That's interesting. I don't remember the case. I'll have to look at the case just to see what happened.
All good. All right.
All right.
That's enough for tonight.
My pleasure. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
All right. All right. You guys take care.
You too. MTP, I like your analysis of Peggy. I think it was right on. Let's see. You seem sad.
Well, thank
What's
you.
the last smells?
Tony likes my necklace because, of course.
Because Tony sent it to you, right?
Thank you again, Tony.
So I think...
What's going on with all the bing, bing, binging?
I'm trying to... Harry, Geogrades, somebody's saying... Oh, goodness. What timing. Hey, buddy, what are you up to?
What are you doing, hombre?
I'm staying out of trouble. So, you know what? There were several people in the room just writing things like, where is Rio Grande Joe? We sure miss Rio Grande. How come Rio Grande Joe's... They thought I had blocked you.
Oh, no.
No?
I don't think you would.
No? So, what do you got for your 10 minutes tonight?
Well, today I went and checked on the snow.
And how's the snow?
It's just a little bit left, but it's kind of muddy. So this coming week, I'm going to go back and see if it's there.
Yeah? So you think this is the week?
This coming week, yeah.
All right. So,
yeah.
Will you...
I went today for just a look run or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because all the hints are there. So it can't be anywhere else.
So it can't be anywhere else. Now, do you know how many people tell me that it can't be anywhere else? Do you know I get, 3 callers a night telling me it can't be anywhere else?
Like the guy says about a cemetery. Well, there is cemeteries close by. They're a few miles away.
Yeah.
But it's not in a cemetery.
Well, I think that's what he was implying. I think he, and I wanted to hear him say it, and he did. He was very good about saying it's not in a cemetery. It's part of my theory.
Right, and not in a dam, and
right,
and all that stuff is true that he said.
Yeah,
it's not hard to get to. It was easy for him, so it'll be easy for us.
Who is us? Who's going with you?
Nobody.
Oh,
I'm going to do it alone.
So Mrs. Rio Grande Joe's not going with you?
No, she's not into it.
No.
I talked to her about it, but you know how some women are. They're not into.
No, we don't do that on that show because sitting right next to me is a woman.
Well, I know she does.
Yeah.
She's been out looking. I know her.
Oh, okay.
But most ladies don't. They're not into that. They're into other things.
Well, according to our research from last year, approximately 25% of the population of the search population is female. So they are out there.
Yeah. Well, I've been married 4 or 5 times, and none of them wanted to do it. So.
Well,
that's where I'm coming from.
Does that give you a hint of some kind? Besides, who says 4 or 5 times? You can't be exact about the number of times you've been married?
Being together or living with somebody and not married is different.
So. Oh, okay. All right. So you're just counting the number of times that you've shared a household with a female.
Right. Right.
4 or 5.
And which is good for me. I like to go alone anyway and search.
Yeah. Well, that tells us a little bit about you, doesn't it?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It tells you I'll wear the pants.
LR, his state is New Mexico.
But anyway,
yeah,
the snow's about gone, and the House of Brown is there, and it's on the left on the way down the canyon.
Yeah.
And if you're in the cold, well, you got it.
Well, I don't have it. You're going to have it. So here's here's what I've got. So you think it's going to be this week. You don't want to push that out just a little bit, considering that it's going to be a muddy, snowy turn to water and then water turned into mud.
I don't. The water won't bother me.
So
I don't want to dig through no snow.
Are you going to have the treasure within the next 7 days?
If it's there, yeah.
Well, okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, well, thank you.
The clues are there.
Yeah. So all right. Well, that's
on the map.
You know what? Now we're talking rational. You don't know for certain it's there. So what do you think? What do you think the percentage probability is that you're correct?
Well, my clues on probably all the clues are 100%, and they're on the map. Yeah. But whether there's treasure there or not, or after I'm there, if it's harder to find than I think or whatever, I think it's just covered with a stone or something. It's, just sitting right there. It's not buried. It may be set in a ditch or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what he would do. He would put it in a dirty ditch.
Yeah, something like that. And cover it with a flagstone or something.
No, he wouldn't do it. You know what he'd do? He'd look around his very, very special place, a place that was dear to him. He's used that word.
It is.
It was dear to him, right? It is not. Yeah. It is not something dear, special. It's not a ditch. You know what it is? It may be a crevice in a granite outcrop.
It could be the Ira Hayes ditch. You remember the song of Ira Hayes?
Yes, but it's not the ditch.
When he died in a ditch?
No, it's not a ditch.
Oh, it's a creek. He says it in the poem.
Well, there's got to be water nearby because one of the things he said...
There's lots of water.
Yeah, he said one of the comments he made when Jennifer London asked him, he said several things about the special place, and one of the things about the special place... Yeah. No, he said there'd have to be a river nearby and maybe some Indian ruins. What do you think about that?
Well,
are there some?
Yeah.
Is there a river nearby?
Yeah.
Is there
a few miles away?
Are there Indian ruins nearby?
There's something better than that. It's the Clovis. There's Clovis sites around there.
Oh, there are? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Clovis sites in the area, huh?
Yeah.
Are you?
That's why it matches the man.
Are you an arrowhead hunter as well?
Oh, yes, from a long time.
Have you found? Do you have a collection of arrowheads?
Yeah, but I don't have any ones with a fluke in them.
Right. Yeah.
I've been searching, but I've read up on the area where this is at, and That's why it fits him all the way. He's what he was in his life, and at the end, he was the self-made,
So you feel like you've got Forrest Fenn figured out?
Oh yeah, he's not hard to figure out.
Yeah, I'm glad you say that because I haven't been able to figure that old coot out for love or money.
No, his rainbow's there.
Yeah.
You just can't see it in the daytime, but it's there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I am looking forward to hearing from you next week, regardless of the results, regardless of whether you found it or not.
And it's not in a national park or forest, so it's cool. It'll be all right.
It's on. What kind of property is it on? If it's not national park or it's not national forest,
well, any of us could go on there. Let's put it that way.
BLM land. BLM.
It's even better.
Well, okay. What's even better than BLM? That's practically the most, unless you own the thing. So can we agree that it's not on tribal land?
Oh, it's not.
Okay. Well,
it's not to say that there's.
Can
not
we go? Can we
Indian
agree? Can we agree that it's not on private land, including Spanish grant land?
It's not.
Okay. So is it on state land?
Yeah, but
state forest, state park, state something.
Everybody's welcome in there.
Everybody is welcome in there because the state doesn't have a version of the BLM, right? The BLM has the BLM. There is no BLM land that belongs to the state. It belongs to the BLM, and if the state wants to lease it, they can. Right. So it's on land that is neither tribal nor private, and everybody is welcome, but it's not national forest and national park land. Is that correct?
Right.
Interesting.
And people go in and out of there every day, but
it's
don't
not
know what they're.
But they don't know what they're. They
don't know that. They don't know they're there.
So have people been? Have some of those people been within 500 feet of the treasure?
Oh, every day.
Really?
20 or 30 a day.
Every day.
They drive by it. Yeah.
Oh, they drive by. But they don't know that they're close to the treasure.
No. The 200 footers, they're few because you have to be in that spot. And it's a spot that you wouldn't go into every day.
Yeah.
Unless you have business there.
Unless a military reservation?
Well.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Military reservation. Wow. Where in northern New Mexico is there a military reservation?
Yeah, I think that's why he says it'll be whoever finds it, it'll be theirs because they can't claim it.
Because the military the people in the military can't.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, nobody can. No. But it's there. The warm waters. Like I said, I found the home of Brown first.
Yeah.
And then I backed up and found the warm waters hall.
Well, what's amazing,
which I didn't need it then.
What's amazing to me is that you did exactly what Forrest Fenn said you couldn't do.
Right. Yeah. Unless you're like me and you are.
Yeah.
Muchas lenguas.
Right. Yeah. So you had that all comes
that
in
helps.
part as I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, brother, we've used up our 10 minutes. We have more new information.
Okay.
I look forward to hearing from you next Friday. And not before that, because I don't want you to call if you can't.
No.
If you can't send me pictures of the treasure.
Okay. We'll see if it's there. Well, I carry 50 pounds all the time, all day long.
So you think it's easy? What I don't want to hear, I don't want any of your stories. Don't even call me if the story is I went there.
Somebody got it.
No, I went there and there was a big hole in the ground. I don't want to hear any hole in the ground stories. Okay,
well,
I got enough of those.
I hear all the people that say they solved it.
Yeah.
Well, none of their hints match the map. They don't never.
Right.
And I tell you mine because mine do match the map.
I don't want to hear any stories about your girlfriend stole your theory from you and ran away with the treasure.
No, I got a wife. I don't have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay, even better.
Yeah.
Well, does she know about the girlfriend? Is she listening right now?
Well, we kid around all the time.
The wife or the girlfriend?
About the girlfriend.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, no.
Oh, they're past tense. No
Yeah,
mas.
yeah, no more. Now that you've on number 5, you can't afford to have a girlfriend now.
Nope. Too old. When I was 20, maybe, or 30.
No, I learned that lesson too.
But it's not good. It's better to stay straight.
Because you know what they say about Toby. You know what they say about Toby, right?
That's right.
He likes.
You like them feet.
Yeah, I like the feet. I like the ladies. Oh, damn it! Here, I put you on FaceTime there for just a minute. Okay.
Okay.
Talk to me next Friday. Have some evidence.
And Shelley's making us hungry.
Yeah, I know. She's been snacking all night.
I know. Where's our food?
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Don't even start that with her because she'll hit you with a pie in the face. All right, brother. I'll talk to you later. Have a good evening.
Right, talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Bye. Oh, he was pushing that kind of. Sturm says, "Oh, dang nabbit. These guys send me pictures. I can't."
We had a super chat from Jeff.
We did indeed. What did Jeff have to say?
He said something about Crazy Birds, promise is a promise, and here's...
let's see, Crazy Bird caller level achievement reached. Congrats, here's my almost $10. A deal is a deal. So, does he want to see Crazy Birds again? I thought we already gave him Crazy Birds.
Or we could do the rooster.
We haven't done roosters. Let's do roosters. We got a couple of roosters tonight.
It's a bird.
Ready? Man, that rooster nearly blows his lungs out on that last one, huh? So I was looking for Kaija. I guess she's not around anymore. Bless her soul.
I just wanted to let Tom Gregory know we did already talk about Charbet at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, we did, Tom.
We appreciate you bringing in information. And, yeah.
Let's see. We're going to go to do not. All right, we're going to turn off the phone lines because it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go to Sales Leaders Institute. I'll actually probably publish it in our community page and see that interview with Sean Wells, my daughter, and go to her Etsy store. I'm going to give you that link one more time here. Put that in there because you get if you're a viewer of ours, you get a 20% discount using SLI 2020 as the coupon code. Anything you buy from her with that gets a 20% discount. Okay. So, but go take a look at the video. She's Shelley and I knew that it was going to be hard to do an interview in 45 minutes with her because she's a storyteller and she loves talking like that, telling those stories. And she's a really good storyteller too. And so it went over, but it was a lot of fun. So take a look at it. Let me see if it's published yet. Give me 1 second. So I can show you that link. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. So here's the link. Copy link address. Go watch this video. And I'm always talking about her. I have her art and I'm very proud of her. And but you guys have met Jason. Sean's not a searcher. So you've never actually met her. So there's an opportunity to find out a little bit about my daughter, Sean Wells, and her story. It's a great story. Any last words, MTP?
No, I can't think of anything. No. Everybody, just wanted to say, New Mexico is on stay-at-home orders through the end of April. We suggest you don't go searching for the treasure. Fenn suggested you don't go searching for the treasure. Wait until summer and stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your friends, your neighbors by staying home. That's all I got. What do you got?
That's the same way. We do our program, COVID Conversations on Monday night with Dr. Brown. And we've learned a great deal about this simply because we have to do the research necessary to ask him the questions. And then we listen to his questions, and they're very detailed. And what it tells us is that when somebody suggests that you stay home, and that you avoid going out, coming in contact with other people, that's probably the best resolution to this problem. And it seems to be working. We do seem to, as people started taking this progressively more seriously, it seems to be flattening out the curve. Now, we're still going to lose tens of thousands of Americans to this disease. I don't want you to be one of them. Shelley and I don't want to tell that story. We don't want to, last Wednesday we had somebody ask us if we were aware of any searchers. We don't want to be aware of any. We want you all to be healthy and get through this period, and then we can talk about all the roosters in August and September, and then we'll have another search season next year. So just be safe. Don't do anything crazy. Protect yourself, protect your family, and pay attention to what the experts in this matter, in these matters, are telling you. Okay. Can you talk religion on Church of the Search? No, we do not discuss politics or religion on any of our shows unless I talk about the horrors of my Catholic upbringing. By the way,
or the La Corona, the Saint Corona.
Oh, the Saint Corona. Yeah, what's interesting is my children. I didn't want to influence my children in their choices. That I wanted them to make their own choices, and one of the choices that I wanted them to make is whether or not they practiced a religion, what religion they practice, whatever. And Sean is one of those that is very religious, and you kind of have to be when you're doing the work that she does in terms of painting the pantheon of 256 saints as approved by the Spanish Colonial Art Society. And she knows a lot about them, and she's very good at it, and she believes in their work and their effect on people, etc., etc. And the reason she wanted me to have that original Saint Corona is because, in her opinion, having that in my house is going to help me be protected from the virus. I take the scientific perspective, and the scientific perspective is the more I stay in my house and don't go out, the more likely it is I'm not going to get this virus. So tomorrow, we're going to do Church of the Search instead of movie night. Thank you for those that sent in the request to join us, but Church of the Search seems to us to be a little bit more popular, an opportunity for you to gather again and talk about Forrest Fenn. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m. until closing, I invite all you ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, saints and sinners, to join me in the Church of the Search.
There'll be another Important Words video out, 5 o'clock on Monday.
On Monday. What's the
Monday night?
What's the word?
The word is warm.
Warm, nice. I like warm. And
thanks everybody for being here with us tonight. We appreciate you, and we want you to stay safe and healthy. And for Gypsy's Kiss Friday Fenndango, I'm the Magical Treasure Princess, life coach to the rich and famous, and the zookeeper, Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Younis, Administrative Assistant at the Magical Treasure Princess and our Chief of Security. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did just being here with you. We love you very much, and we want you to stay safe, stay healthy, and let's all get through this together. The only way we're going to beat this virus is to unite and fight. It's like that alien story and aliens and whatever. Listen to the MTP. She wants you to be safe too, all right? And we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Church of the Search.